Hello guys, and welcome back to my channel, Pennies and Salt. Today I'm really excited to share with you a new to our family reading curriculum. So this is actually going to be an unboxing video of a curriculum that I am so super excited about, and I can't wait to share it with you guys, and I can't wait to actually put it into action and see how it works for one of our children. So just a little backstory. One of my sons is a struggling reader. He is 8 years old now, and he still is just really having a difficult time. I could go into way more detail about exactly what the struggles are, but needless to say, there is still a lot of confusion and everything, even with just letter sounds. There's really a disconnect with being able to memorize sight words and certain sound combinations, things like that. So a lot of what we are seeing as struggles in him are what are typical of children who are diagnosed with dyslexia. So more than likely he does have dyslexia. Now, I actually have 2 teaching degrees. I taught in public school for 7 years. My master's degree is actually in curriculum and instruction, and a focus in early literacy. But I feel, even though that is my degree, when it's your own child, sometimes the reality of dealing with something like this can be very difficult, because you're feeling like the mom emotions, but you're also trying to bring in your quote expertise. But ultimately, I'm just trying to find what really works for him with this. Now, we have not had him tested for dyslexia. Our particular school district where we live doesn't recognize dyslexia as a learning disability. Now, I want to clarify what I mean by that. Yes, it's not like they're saying dyslexia isn't one, but what I mean is they blanket it as a learning disability in general. They don't recognize it specifically. Okay, this child has dyslexia. Let's specifically target them with these methods that have been proven to work with dyslexia. That is not the type of intervention they would get in public school. Instead, they are blanketed with a learning disability in reading. And so any other child who has any other disability in reading, they all, unfortunately, because there's more than just dyslexia that can be a reading disability. So all of those children, unfortunately, are just blanketed, umbrellaed under this broad term of just a reading learning disability, and they're all targeted with intervention, the same intervention, rather than exactly the methods that would work for the underlying disability that causes the learning disability in reading. I hope I explained that clearly, but that's basically how it is done here where I live. Okay, so we are fairly certain that this is the culprit. There are specific methods that can be used to help a child who has dyslexia, and even sensory processing, those types of disabilities, and so they can actually use similar methods. Now, I have been researching for probably a little over a year to specifically find something that would work for him the best. In some of my other videos, I have mentioned that we have tried several reading programs. The one we are currently using, I actually did a video on it, and I still really love that program because it has worked extremely well for him. It is very intensive. And when I say it's worked extremely well, I mean extremely well in comparison to the other ones that we have tried. There is progress that has come about, but it is extremely slow progress, and there is still a need for something more. And so I have been researching for over a year, and I have looked at the program I'm going to share with you today several times. I've also looked at All About Reading, because that is one we have not tried either. But this program that I'm going to share with you today actually has stuck out to me more than any other, just because it is so dyslexia focused. It uses the Orton-Gillingham method, which was it's a method specifically designed for children who do have dyslexia. Now, this program is not just for a child who has dyslexia or sensory processing or anything that has to do with processing sounds, letters, all of the things that go into reading. You can use this with a child who does not have that. It breaks down the whole reading process very, very well. Through my research, that is what I have learned. So this curriculum was actually sent to me by the company. It is called Pride Reading. I will link it down below. And I wanted to share and review it for you guys, but also I am, like I said, just desperate to, sorry, I'm taking this stuff out. I am desperate just to find something that creates that light bulb for my son, and I am really confident that this is going to be that. So I will, after this video, I'm going to show you what comes inside and kind of give you my first impressions of everything, which I've kind of already given you some and background about it. But I'm going to show you what comes in the level 1 kit for this. And then after we complete this program, or when we're almost finished with this program, whenever we get to that point, I will share my impressions and how it has worked for our family. Okay, so I went ahead and pulled the tape off so I can do this easily. But the first thing that was in the box, these are actually, they are the sound cards. So when you see these, you will think, oh, well, that's the same thing as what's in All About Reading. It is somewhat similar, yet not. So they are color-coded for a specific reason, because they are certain types of sounds and letter groupings are different colors. Okay, so that is the sound cards, and they are really good quality. They're nice and thick. Okay, and so in the kit, let's see if I can get this open. Here we go. Okay, so in the kit, all right, so it says, welcome to the Pride Reading Program. There is an online teaching guide that you can access. Hold on. Let me move the camera up for this part. There is an online teaching guide that you can access. That is something else that I really liked about this. There is lots of videos that you can watch as examples for teaching the different parts of this. And there's actually a whole training module that you can watch online, or that you need to watch online, that is included with this program as well. So my husband and I, we actually watched it as soon as they mailed this out and sent the password and all that kind of stuff. We logged on and we completed the training in order to teach this effectively. So this is a very specific method. It needs to be taught exactly the way it teaches in the training. The training is not overwhelming. It is definitely something that if you go through that training process, even if you have never been an educator, if you know nothing about educating, if you do that training, you will know how to do this. So, plus, like I said, it has the online teaching guide and all that kind of stuff for reference, you can reference back to. So, they give you this nice little letter that gives you a little more information. So the next thing that is in here, let me lower this back down. Okay, so The next thing that is in here is, this is, let me see what they call this actually, so you'll know what it's called. Okay, so let me start with the workbook. Okay, so this is the student workbook. Okay. Try to make sure you can see it there. Okay. This is, like I said, it's level 1. So this kind of shows you the scope and sequence of everything. It does start out, you know, you might look at that and think that it starts out pretty slow, but you can already see that they are doing blends there. Now, I also want to point out that this is a very phonics-based program because it's phoneme recognition. So this is very important for children who do have processing issues. So yes, so anyway, so just as a look inside, these are what the student pages look like. They are very simplistic for a reason, because when you are trying to process through things, you need to be able to focus in on what you're trying to process and not be distracted by a bunch of different things. So it is very that there are very specific exercises that you go through. There are specific processes that your child will go through every single time that you teach these lessons, and they move through the same exercises and the same methods. The next thing that we have is this is the letter tiles. So it comes with this little bag that's nice and strong, which is good. There is it breaks down the Pride letter tiles and tells you which ones you're going to need for each level. So you will use these with every level of this. So with Yellow Book 1, it tells me the consonants that I need to put in the bag, the vowels, the specific digraphs, and then the floss rule, which is 2 F's, 2 L's, double S, double Z, that kind of thing. Okay, so, but then when you get to book 2, the orange book, then you will use all the letter tiles from the yellow book, plus the welded, quote, glued sounds like ang, ing, ong, ung, ank, ink, onk, unk. Okay, so on and so forth. So as they move through all of those levels, you will add those into your bag. Okay. So that is the letter tiles. Whoops, let me keep that with that. Okay, so the next thing is your activity kit. Okay, so in your activity kit, so first of all, it comes with a bag that you keep the whole program in so that you can keep it all together. It comes with a dice. It comes with a red dry erase marker. It comes with the pen that you'll need. It comes with a black dry erase marker. It comes with the tracking, forget what you call it. Anyway, it's like the reading tracker. So they will use this to track, highlight, and track what they are reading. A little eraser. Then it comes with a nice little sound chart for reference. And then it even comes with the double-sided dry erase board. Okay, so just to show you a little bit more about the Pride Reading Program, I will put a link down below so that you can go to this website as well to research further for yourself. But the first thing that you will do is you will do a placement assessment, then purchase your kit, start your online training, which took a little bit less than 3 hours for us to complete. Earlier, I think I said a little over an hour, but no, it was definitely closer to 3. And then start teaching with Pride. So There is a digital version of this that has now come out. This is kind of a look at the different program kits and levels that they have. And then there is also the accelerated review. And there is the digital again. So just a little bit more. So the Orton-Gillingham based method. Okay, so for children with speech deficits, language deficits, or processing deficits, the repetitive nature of the Orton-Gillingham approach is perfect for them. This method utilizes a multisensory, step-by-step process for your child to learn every phoneme in the English language. There is a window of opportunity for kids between kindergarten and second grade where if they don't close their reading gaps before moving on to the next grades, that child will always struggle with reading and writing. It is important you close those gaps as soon as you can. The Orton-Gillingham method is a process. For many students, this is actually the only program that does work for them. Our students are really, really smart kids. They just need a different approach to learning. So I just want to clarify something. I think I said sensory processing probably 5 times. What I meant was auditory processing in my brain. It being late at night and me doing this video, I totally meant auditory processing. So, yes, this program is ideal for anything that has to do with processing the letters, the sounds, all of those things. So, yes. Okay, so I wanted to give a little bit more about what exactly Orton-Gillingham is. Orton-Gillingham approach is named after 2 individuals, Samuel Orton and Anna Gillingham. So it says over a century ago, a neuropsychiatrist by the name of Samuel Orton spent time researching children with language processing disorders and wanted to help these children. And then Anna Gillingham was a teacher and a psychologist who used multisensory strategies in her reading instruction and became very focused on helping her students learn to read. So she was one of the first teachers to ever use multisensory strategies. Yes, I am reading this right now. With her students and saw huge improvements by doing this. So the 2 of them together came up with the Orton-Gillingham approach. The method of teaching students with language processing disorders such as dyslexia was a gigantic contribution to the advancement of literacy skills. So the approach specifically helps children with learning difficulties, as I've said, due to dyslexia, auditory processing, speech deficits, and other learning differences. So Orton-Gillingham is considered an evidence-based reading instruction for dyslexia. It is meant to be one-on-one or small group reading intervention instruction. So just a few things as examples of the sequence of teaching in this program is that and the multisensory nature of it is that you will do things like writing on the whiteboard using specific colors of dry erase markers. They will work with the letter tiles. They will also air and finger write. And there are other things as well, but it does follow a specific sequence for every single lesson that is taught. So your child will get used to that sequence as well, I'm sure, as you go through this. As I said, I'm very excited about using this with my son. I really think that it's going to be great for him. And I am just really looking forward to it. So I will keep you updated on the progress, and I will do a full review of this curriculum once we have finished it. I hope that if reading is a struggle for any of your children, I hope that you find this helpful and useful, at least in your search of finding something that works for your child as well. As I said, I am excited about this. I am really optimistic, and I think that it will be a great fit for us, but I will share our progress along the way. So thanks so much, guys, for stopping by my channel, and hit that subscribe button if you are not a subscriber already, and I will see you on future videos. Thanks so much.